Hello, friends, and welcome back to another weekly conversation. Our environmental collective, our core group, minus Jody, who is not available today. So I will take the lead on the conversation. My name is Andrea Rowe, and I'm a volunteer with Grandmother's Voice. So I'm happy to be back again. Why don't we go around and introduce ourselves?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Mary Brown. I'm from Sustainable Milton. I look after the events, and we are busy with gardens.
And I am Kevin Hamilton, and I work for Nawasa at McQuestion Urban Farm, and I also run my own farm, Tilthy Soil Organic Farm, out on the edge of Six Nations in Brantford.
Wonderful. So this week's conversation is going to be relating an upcoming event tomorrow, National Indigenous Peoples Day. And I came across another social media post reminding me that it's also Pollinator Week. So I thought, what a great opportunity to talk about the work that we do individually with our various organizations and how we can connect these to supporting Indigenous people. And while none of us are personally Indigenous, we can do acts of allyship and reconciliation through our work. So, Kevin, you brought up an interesting point. Why don't you take the lead on this about working for an Indigenous organization and how it all relates to you?
Sure. I work at Nawasa, and there's some workers coming in behind me, so don't mind them. Also work for Nawasa. In fact, do you guys want to be on for 1 second and show your
You can
shirts?
wave hello.
So we get tomorrow off, and they've got. I didn't get the memo on wearing the shirts, but yeah. So we work at Nawasa, and they do all kinds of amazing work in the community early on program, child rearing, which actually makes it possible for people to afford to go to work. Because if you're just working for childcare or to pay your car and all that kind of stuff, so yeah, they do some amazing work. And there's an early on program, and then there's actually a daycare, and there's the food bank next door to us. That's some of their programming, and then McQuestion Urban Farm. So we're growing culturally appropriate foods, and I personally grew. We put in just over 2,000 white corn plants last year, and I got well over 100 pounds of white corn seed, which is a significant crop for these parts. The white corn is a very important staple food, and I grew it organically without the aid of any chemicals and all that kind of stuff, and it grew really well. And so I was pretty proud of that, and I've been sharing that with people as well. Yeah, and just getting back in touch with nature. We've lost that connection, and trying to save seed, and looking at a lot of the indigenous foods that were traditionally consumed here. I grew unsuccessfully another Boston marrow, is a giant orange pumpkiny squash, more like a squash, like a Hubbard. Last year, and I've grown that in the past, and I'm trying to save seed from that too, because that was also consumed widely around here. So yeah, that's kind of how I give back, and I'm always doing my best to share my knowledge of the native plants and the different botanical sprays and stuff I'm making with weeds, and yeah, that's what I do all the live long day.
Do you see what you're doing as an act of reconciliation or allyship, or does it come more from a place of environmentalism? How do you see what you do?
To me, it's all one and the same thing. For me, like I've always tried to be an ally for the downtrodden or those without a voice, right? Like whether it's social justice issues around like homelessness or reconciliation or yeah, environment, trying to get people out. I rode my bicycle across Canada to encourage people to lessen their carbon footprint, and same thing, I rode across Australia, and I've always been protesting. I was in the Red Hill, working with folks from Six Nations and like Cugans and Mohawks and everybody trying to stop the Red Hill Creek Expressway from coming in. And yeah, I mean, I think if your heart and your mind are in the right place and you're trying to do things that aren't just for yourself, but there's a bigger picture. And for me, a lot of my activism and um, interest in life, I've always been trying to take on projects that are bigger than me. Um, of course, it feeds a bit of the selfish thing inside me, and it feeds my soul to do those things. But it feels good. It's cathartic when, like, I have a harmonica retreat coming up this weekend, and it was selfish for me because I wanted to surround myself with better harmonica players than me. But now I've created an income where I can pay musicians that
Mm-hmm.
$2,000 to come out, and that feels good to me. And when I do stuff around the environment and share my knowledge with everybody, that's also like a good thing. I don't really want anything in return. So yeah, it's
Very
good to
nice.
be funded though.
Yeah, it is. It's good to have your work valued and acknowledged. And I guess the question that I posed to you, Kevin, came out of a conversation that I had with Mary last week. And, it would be great if Jody or another Indigenous person could lead these conversations. But I think this week in particular, it just shows the solidarity and the support for that work that we're still able to have this conversation, the three of us, and let people know what's happening in the community and other things that are going on. So back over to you, Mary. Do you want to just share your thoughts on the conversation?
For sure, there are so many ways that we get involved. We try to get involved, and we try to encourage people to get involved. I mean, we are creating a lot of events around removing invasive species. Actually, I mean, the task is so large because we have so much of the invasive species around, but we approach it from the perspective of don't worry about what we can't get at. Um, Eventually, we'll slowly get there, but it's the educational piece of what is invasive. What does it look like? What is it doing to the native plants that are around and that we want to allow to grow and prosper? And so we have been, I have had my hands in the my hands are, I know I don't have any nails. There's no nails. It's always from one to the next. We have one coming up where we're going to try to remove buckthorn. And this, when we went and looked at the pathway from where we're going to take the buckthorn in this, it's a woodlot. That's a beautiful space. When you walk through it, you feel, I don't know, I can't express what it makes, what you feel like walking through this gorgeous forested path. But when you know, and you can see the invasive species, you just want to, I want to pull them out. So we created an event where people are going to come out and pull those. And then we're going to follow that with another, at the end of that event, we'll have a little patch ready for people to bring some prairie smoke, some common milkweed, some Canadian anemone, or whatever we can get our hands on, and plant it into that space to let that grow and take its place where it should. So these are the things that fill me, and I really hope that we can. The more that we engage, people in this, the more they. For me, it's been a learning experience. Last year I didn't know any of these species. I didn't know what I would have passed them by. I wouldn't have known their purpose. I wouldn't have known, the names of them.
Mm-hmm.
That journey is so important for people, to start to connect with with nature and what should be there, So that's where I'm at. And I also volunteer at the Tremaine Market, which is a place that they collect food from the different grocery stores. And on Wednesdays, we allow people can come in and they can fill their baskets with a week's worth of, free groceries. So at the end of that on Wednesday, I've been going over to Grandmother's Voice Garden to help Sherry, because Sherry has been so challenged of trying to keep up with all the weeding there. And I've been helping with the Forefathers Garden there, hoping then I'm pulling out, and I have my phone with me, but I'm checking to see what I'm pulling is actually the plant to pull. But you know,
I will share the garden map with you so that you
yeah,
know what is supposed to be there.
that's the thing. Like some of the plants are in there, they're not necessarily native. You have some hostas in there. I think they're intentionally planted, but so that's the challenge is like, and then there's the idea that, well, even some of the plants that are growing there that maybe we didn't intend to be there, say some fleabane came in and it's a native plant. Should I pull that? Is it doing, am I going against what I
You're
should?
right. I think we're talking about two different gardens. So yeah, I don't have the planting scheme for that one, but
No,
it's important to know what is maybe not intentional, but is still supporting pollinators, or what was
right.
put there just to keep weeds from growing. Is
Yeah.
it still serving the benefit that was intended, or is it time to replace it with something else? So you
Yeah.
touched on so many great things, which is the education piece. So that's taking the knowledge in,
Hmm.
and now we're all in our own ways trying to do something about it. So I'm going to
Yes.
share. There we go. I'm testing out all the new features that I'm becoming familiar with on this platform. So this popped up in my social media feed, Pollinator Week. And again, you're removing invasives and planting native species to support pollinators. So that's an action that you are now taking.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see this? I'm going to ask you the same question. Do you see this as an act of reconciliation and allyship? Or is it still something that is coming out of your environmental initiatives? And, there's no right or wrong answer. So answer honestly, and then we'll just see where it goes.
I feel like it's a bit of both because the whole reason that I would be up at Grandmother's Voice to help out is to provide, share like Sherry and the whole team there with what I can do, with the knowledge that I have,
Mm-hmm.
and try and help them because they're that's a very busy team, and it's hard to find the time and the people that would have some knowledge of what to do, and so yeah, so it's both. I understand the environmental piece and trying to share that with people, try to cement that into their minds, but at the same time, yeah, anything I can do to help reconciliation, work towards that, it's important. It's so important to me.
I keep thinking about the land acknowledgement, and protecting the earth, the
Yes.
air, the plants, the animals, the ancestors, and how can we, as environmental people or gardeners or tree planters or invasive species removers, how can we not connect those ideas of protecting those things and our actions? And I don't know, I guess my mind is trying to process, yeah, is this putting the land acknowledgement into action?
Mm-hmm.
Question mark.
Yeah.
I think like one of the simplest ways, if you're not actively out doing things, and I mean the easiest way and one of the biggest climate changing, earth changing things you can do is buy pastured meat. That's like absolutely massive. If we were to pasture 2/3 of the animals on the planet, we would solve all that carbon stuff, and we would start to chip away at the carbon emissions that are up there from the Industrial Revolution. But now we're protecting our land base, and then we're land protectors as well, and that's huge. And it's you don't have to do anything but go buy your meat, but you might have to pay a few extra bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes even not. Just know where you're from, or go direct to a farmer and say, "Hey, are you pasturing poultry? Are you pasturing your pigs? Are you pasturing your cows?" And then you're going to get a better deal when a farmer has a guaranteed income. But that's like a huge one, and that to me is an act of reconciliation because you're protecting the land and the watershed and all that kind of stuff because somebody's raising something in an appropriate, responsible manner. Same with organic veg, like you're protecting the groundwater because you're not spraying chemicals and all that kind of stuff on. Yeah, I think environmentalism is usually part and parcel. and you don't have to have a long beard and be a raging hippie like me.
Dirty hands.
Yes, the hands are always dirty. But yeah, that's the simplest way. You vote every day with your dollar, and it's an easy thing to do, and you don't suffer any because you're still eating good food, and it's just like you change your habitual routines a bit. You might drive to the farm to get your meat instead of the grocery store or whatever. But yeah.
So you get the day off tomorrow, Kevin. I know you're going to work on your own farm. What is happening in your various communities for National Indigenous Peoples Day?
You know what? I'm a little bit out of touch. I have way too much going on in my life right now, and I actually woke up this morning and said to my wife, Sandra, I think I need to just spend time with the kids tomorrow. So that's what I'm doing personally. I do live on the edge of Six Nations there, and yeah, I'm always helping out around with the neighbors and the crops and stuff like that. So I know there is some kind of ceremony going on tomorrow with Nawasa, but yeah, I'm a bad employee and I don't know what it is.
That's okay. You're connecting with your community in your own way. Mary, do you have anything?
And I'd say the same thing. I haven't really seen what Grandmother's Voice is actually up to tomorrow, but I will be there at the Country Heritage Market because I'll be at the market all afternoon and then working in the garden to try and do more weeding right after that. So I'm sure that it'll become apparent as to what is going on when I arrive.
So Grandmother's Voice is taking part in the Oakville Festival of Film and Art. It's the beginning of their 10-year anniversary, OFA, and it starts tomorrow. So on behalf of National Indigenous Peoples Day, they are hosting a series of Indigenous films, including our good friends from 101 Doegans. There was a short film created to showcase their project. So at the 5 Drive-In movie theater tomorrow, that's where we will be, and there will be the Doegans. So some drumming, some dancing, some artisans are coming to share their goods, food, lots of fun, and then the drive-in movie. So the Beehive is the feature film, and the 101 Doegans ... are the featured short film and feature film for tomorrow.
Fantastic.
So that's what we'll be up to.
Fantastic. That sounds like a lot of fun.
I haven't been to the drive-in in years. I forgot how late the movies start.
Yeah.
You have to wait till the sun goes down.
Yeah, especially this time of year, you're waiting for it to get dark. So
yeah. So thankfully, a lot of the fun and festivities, the gates open at 6:30. So we will be enjoying Indigenous culture, and then the movie starts around 9:15 or whenever the sun sets, whenever it gets dark enough.
Nice. I just looked on our calendar, and Nawasa does not have anything officially going on tomorrow. I think it was a day off to kind of connect in your own way.
Yep.
And yeah, work with your community and that kind of thing too. So yeah.
So you're off the hook there, Kevin. You didn't know that there was nothing to know.
It's kind of like one of those things. What are you doing for Earth Day? I'm like, working on the farm. Earth Day is every day. Come on.
It's every day.
It's all
yeah, I have this harmonica retreat on Saturday. If anybody's interested it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but if anybody's interested in coming listen to harmonica music, I'm down in Stromness, and you could direct message me. But I have to work on when people come, my welcome to the space speech, and talk about. I love the word ongohongwe. That's like for the natural people, the native people of any given space. And I was Ongohongwe somewhere in the Great White Tribes of Europe or whatever. But back before all the colonialism and all that. We had the white tribes and the black tribes and the brown tribes and the native tribes and all that. And so, anyways, I got to work on my speech for that to include everybody and honor the land and the space and that. So, yeah,
Put some
it'll
details.
be my homework tomorrow.
Yes.
That's my reconciliation thing. Woo! I figured it out.
Good, good. All right. Put it in the comments so people know how to take part in your event if they haven't already.
Sure.
In other ways. And make sure it's in the comments, not the private chat. Mary and I have seen your info.
That's it.
I'll forward it through to you there.
All right. And I'll share it. Any other thoughts about Pollinator Week, National Indigenous Peoples Day, Truth and Reconciliation?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just wondering, as far as Pollinator Week goes, like, are there any activities planned there? And is this the right time of year to be planting anything, or is it too late?
Well, this is I'm trying to multitask here.
Is it ever too late to plant those species?
That would be my question back is, I think it's always a good time to plant if you're able to take care of what you've planted.
Mm-hmm.
So we try and mimic what Mother Nature does when you're planting native species. So some things are better planted in the fall to go through the cold stratification period. So I guess it all depends would be my answer back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put all my information in the private chat there. I can't get into the public, so.
Oh, all right. I will do that.
Thank you.
All right. Blues harmonica blow off. What does that mean? What is it? Oh, like a playoff, a blow off. I get it now.
Yeah. The joke is when we're not sucking, we're blowing. I got to see a bunch of folks out at Desney had that great event on Saturday, and it was so much fun. And I'm really honored to have been invited out to make music there. But it was just such a beautiful day, and there's giant swans, and I got to meet a bunch of people too in the community, and people that were connected to people I know, and it was a really beautiful day.
So I'm glad I was able to see you before I had to scoot out. Sorry I missed the music part of it, but
no worries.
Yeah. How long did you play for?
I think we played for about 2 hours ish. Wow. And we were inviting anybody that wanted to come up and sing. So I had a few people that came with us that came up and sang, and then a couple of ladies came up, women came up and sang some songs too. I'm a redneck woman. So yeah, it was fun.
Did anyone capture video or photos?
On Facebook, my sister-in-law posted some videos of us playing. So yeah.
I will search.
Yeah, I can share that. On Facebook, my alias is Dunville Blues. So anybody that wants to, follow that, and I just kind of post stuff about my farm and blues music.
Amazing.
Fantastic.
All right. Do you want to close us out?
It feeds my soul.
Yes. This will make Jody happy. So we'll say fond farewell. See you next week. Close us out, Kevin.
Yeah.
Good.
Play.
Yeah, we thought you'd play a little bit to close us out. A little
music. Did you say play us out? Yeah. Sorry, there's a fridge happening in the background here. Sure. This is one of the songs I think I opened up with, but I'll just play the beginning of it there. And all my money gone, we're having these and change of clothes. All my money gone, yeah. We're having these and change of clothes. Yeah, spent all my money on compost. Sure hope my food will grow. And it goes on from there, but a teaser.
So amazing.
Wonderful.
Oh,
Thanks so much, Kevin.
yeah.
No worries. Okay, bye for now.
See you guys. Bye.